Good day, good evening to each and every one. It's a boy Garvin here back with another video for you guys. I hope you guys gonna like this one because we gotta mix it up a little bit. The World Cup is still on. Sorry about that one. We all know the World Cup is still on, so we all know that it's World Cup time. But today we're gonna have a special guest with us a little bit. Gonna talk about what's the difference with their generation and our generation, or generation in in total. So we're gonna have a little discussion about the youths today and how we anything that we can figure out are causing some of the problems. So as I said, thank you guys for being here. To share the moment as usual with us or with me. Always here. So we're gonna do a little World Cup rundown. Talk a little bit about the World Cup until we can get Miss Lewis on. 'Cause she's an expert on the youth because she worked with the CDCs and stuff like those. So we're just gonna go through and see how we can help the youths in general. You know, overall, and see how we can make a change or what we can do to make a change. Just some suggestion. Little stuff like those. Every little word means something. Because in this time of life, every input is very important, especially to how the generation today is going. The kids need a little guidance in each and every word, a little hand, probably a little shoulder to lean on. See what we can do to help when she get on. I know she just get home from work, so I'm just gonna be here for a little bit talking until she can she get the time to really jump on with us. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys like and share, and please remember to subscribe. And tell a friend so a friend can tell a friend. Share it. I see in the comment section here. Alrighty, we got. I cannot wait for this one. Up and grateful, bro. Ready and waiting. I know you always deliver. Waiting for this one. See, everyone is waiting. I am waiting too. You know, Up and running. Yes, cuz. Thank you for tuning in, cuz. Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Jamaica, but living in the United States. If I get that one correct. Yeah, so the big bad mighty Germany went home today. And for all the Germany fans, I'm really sorry. It was a little bit of laughter for me today to see the German really went home. And if you guys tuning in and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. So it was nice to see the German team went home today. Oh, I'm Brazil. I'm definitely Brazil. If you see in the back right there, I got a Brazil and a Chelsea soccer ball. So that's our football as we call it. So I'm going straight with Brazil. I like England too, but I want one of the African team to really go far in the World Cup. So even if my favorite don't win it, I would love to see like a new team win it. If it's not Brazil, to be quite honest, I would love to see a team that never win it before win it. To put a little bit of spice on that World Cup trophy, because the history of the World Cup is just a handful of teams ever win the World Cup. And then you got Italy win it back to back, and then you got Brazil win it back to back, and then you think you got Uruguay win it again, and then you got no, you got Germany. You got Germany, so you got let me see if I can get it correct. You got Uruguay, Italy, Germany, Brazil, France, and Spain. So in the history of the 100 years of the World Cup, and Argentina win it. So that's 7 team ever to win the World Cup. There's no other team that ever will lift that trophy than that 7 nation, that 7 country ever to win the World Cup. So I would love to see some more teams get opportunity to win it. And this World Cup look, we got some really good look, especially some of the team from Africa. Because you got Ghana being playing, and you got Senegal being playing some good stuff too. So I would love to see. Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about now, and I like the Japanese team too because they're really impressive. To be quite honest, they beat 2 of the top teams in the world. They beat both German and they beat Spain, and they don't really look that bad playing. To be quite honest, once they get those goals and they're very organized defensively. So we can really look out for that Japan team because they look very impressive. That's why I would love to see if if a new team can win it. To be quite honest, if it's not Brazil, I would love to see a different team from France or Argentina, even the Netherlands. I would love the Netherlands to win it because they've been a household name for years and years. They make almost the third highest appearance to a World Cup final, but never lift the trophy. So I would really like to see, a team like the Netherlands or even Ghana or Senegal, even Portugal, even Portugal, because this World Cup is Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi and Neymar. This is their last dance, so we never can tell who's going to win it. England will win. Well, England make 9, so 19 win it. So I'm glad you bring up England because I forgot England. So that's it. That's it. That's 9 team ever to win the World Cup. I didn't remember that England won it once in 1961, I think, or 62. It's 1962, I think. Yeah, I think it's 62, somewhere in that bracket. But England won it somewhere in that around that region, and well, England already lifted the trophy. So I would either want Brazil to win it or a team that never won it before. So the next 4 years from now, they won't underestimate the rest of teams because you got too many teams that they said is underdog. But I would love Argentina deserve love. Um, I'm gonna say Argentina probably, but Brazil won't win. Maybe not. But to be honest, Brazil got the most um, well-rounded team, balanced team in the whole entire competition, in attacking wise and defensive wise. If Brazil got a key player go out, they got players can really inject into the team that you don't even know the difference. The only player I think, if probably they go down for Brazil, they probably miss the most will be Casemiro. So Brazil got a really balanced team. England have a very talented team, a team that got no limits. You know, France doesn't deserve. Well, France doesn't have Pogba and Conte. Oh yeah, they're both out injured. They're both out with injury, and Karen Benzema too, and Kuka. France got like about 6 or 7 main players out, to be honest, and they still got Kylian Mbappe. That looks like he got speed to burn. So it's it's really a really good World Cup so far. You know, I see a lot of teams that we never expect to make the round of 16 that really make it. You know, the big game coming up on Saturday, you know, Ghana have their fate in their own hand. They just need a draw, and they'll be in the quarterfinal. So that will be probably a record. You know, Cameroon still can make it, I think, if they get a victory over Brazil. So you got all three African nations got a chance to make it. Sorry about that, guys. That's my daughter. I didn't even remember the phone was still on. Yeah. So where I was, where I was. Yeah. Well, anyway, England. So back to England. England is playing when the manager give them the chance to play without those defensive mindset. They really put a show on. So England. They show that they can score goal, they can defend, and they can create a lot of chances, and they can take them. You know, England got the young midfield and some young good attacker with their leader, their captain, Harry Kane. So they look very impressive. But people, remember the African teams. Like, do not sleep on those African teams. Those African teams look very impressive. Those African teams look like they really want to stamp their mark. You know, as I said, I would love for African nation to win it. You know, I would love an African nation to lift the World Cup, or a Caribbean nation to really lift the World Cup, to change the dimension of it. You know, that's just my say. You know, never say never, but that's just how I really would like to see it one day. Bet your money on England. You won't regret it. Change from Brazil. The thing is, I always go with Brazil and England because I love the English Premier League, to be quite honest. But as I said, if England win it, I will appreciate it too because of the Jamaican connection. So, you know, the Jamaican connection with England, with the likes of the Rhyme Sterling, and you know the Jan Bonds, and a lot of players that playing for England right now could represent Jamaica, to be quite honest. So, you know, I would love to see one of the one you know one of them probably will lift it, to know that Ryan Sterling is a born Jamaican. You know, he didn't play for England, but he didn't born in England. He born in Jamaica. So I would love to see something like that. To be quite honest, you know, that will be something to really celebrate. You know, to see that Jamaica don't really make it there, but at least we'll got Ryan Sterling representing the Jamaican, and lift the Jamaican flags high. You know, so that will be something to really appreciate. You know, so that won't be bad to really see that. So I got nothing against England. I love the English Premier League. It's the best league in the world, and Chelsea's my favorite team. So I will say nothing is wrong with that if England win it. But I would just love to see an African nation win it at least once in my lifetime, or even Jamaica, or some team from the Caribbean or Central America, like probably Mexico or Costa Rica. And Costa Rica put a good showdown today too. So Costa Rica wasn't the team that was gonna lay over today. They really give Germany a run for their money. But in the end, Germany got the bigger names, and they walk out with a victory. So hats off to them. Even though they walk out with a victory, they still end up didn't make it through. Okay, Rafael Lewis. Brazil is my team to win it, but it's very hard. Oh, that's true. That's 100% fact. Right now, no one can put their money or their bet on this World Cup. So if you're a gambler, I wouldn't advise you to, because this World Cup, we getting a lot of surprises. Who would have thought that 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 this World Cup would end would turn out this way? Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. Look at that one. Japan beat Germany. Japan beat Spain. Ghana give Portugal a run for their money. If it wasn't for that debated penalty kick from Ronaldo, who would have thought or who would have think that Portugal would have beat Ghana? Well, we're gonna have a giveaway for all you guys. We're gonna have a giveaway show probably on the semifinal or the final. So I hope you guys tune in. And remember, this is a channel to be on the final. On probably the semifinal too. So this is a channel to be on for your World Cup preview on the final and the semifinal. So if your team make it, this is where you want to tune in on. Trust me, I have a surprise for you guys. So tune in on this channel on the semifinal and the final. This is where you guys want to be. England, as I said, I appreciate your honesty on it. England can go all the way with the talent that they got if they play the way I expect them to play. If they play like how they play against the United States, they're gonna be in deep water. If they play the way they play Wales and Iran, then England. And England got a good quarterfinal too, because they're up against Senegal. So you have to keep that one in consideration too, because they're playing Senegal. Senegal seems like they're really getting to rhythm now. They really get into it. So you have to watch out for that one. Remember to change. Remember to change from Brazil to England before it's too late. I love that one. Well, we can think about it probably about Tuesday. About Tuesday, and then I will realize. Then I will probably wake up and see the reality. Because remember, England play I think on Saturday or Sunday. So hold that one a little bit, because you don't want to be the first team to go home. So don't count your chicken before they hatch, right there. So keep that one in your pocket for a little bit. Yeah, keep that one in your pocket for a little bit, because we don't know what's really gonna happen. We just have to sit and wait and see how. Because if England win, I think the next rounds they're gonna play probably the Netherlands. That's how the format set up, I think. Yeah, Senegal. Yeah, I can. You can say that, but they're finding ways to win. I wouldn't say Senegal is that bad. They're finding a way to win. And when a team is finding a way to win, if you watch the game, you see how they bounce back real quick. And if a team, especially knockout tournament, can really find that desire and fighting spirit to bounce back, that team would be very armed and dangerous. To be quite honest, that team is very armed and dangerous because you never know what you're gonna get. Because it seems like they got a fighting spirit in them, never die. So we have to be careful of them right now. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that they're gonna beat England because England, I'm expecting England to win that game. To be quite honest, Mendy is Chelsea goalkeeper, and he looked very vulnerable, looked shaky. He don't look like the same keeper a year and a half ago. So I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I think England gonna fail in that one. It will be the end of Senegal soon. Yeah, well, that would be good for us, to be quite honest, if that be the end of Senegal soon, because a lot of us really, really would have loved England as the connection, as I said, because of the Jamaica connection. But we still can look into it in a different way too, because remember, it's do or die situation now. It's not you play this one and you don't play good, and then you can bounce back in the next game and try to figure it out. This game is you have to give it all. You have to put everything in this one. So this is where we reach right now. The point, the situation we at is go hard or go home. It's either you're gonna put the work in, and not only that, you have to make sure you're on your A game that day because any mistake you make, it can cost you everything. So this is the part that we at right now where you cannot make any mistake. You cannot make any mistake on this one. So this one you have to give it each and every breath that you take. No room for error in this one. We cannot always say you cannot take your foot off the gas pedal. You cannot overdo it. You cannot overthink it because remember, if you don't play certain type of way where system wise where you can just go out all blazing attack because remember this game can go into extra time. This game can go into penalty shootout. So this is a mind game. We reach a mind game stage of the football now. We're not in the regular group stage where you can do whatever you like. This is a total mind game right now. This is where you play mind games. This is where you try to play and figure out the opponent. So this is not an easy road right now. This is where you try to figure out the opponent in each and every way that's possible. How can I break this player down or this team down? Stuff like those. That's where we're at right now. How can I break down this team? What can I do to to improve my team? So stuff like those, it's a lot. It's not the regular rounds. So remember, I love England, I love Brazil, but this is where is this is where the fittest of the fittest gonna survive. Only the fittest of the fittest can survive this one. So this one is not gonna be a normal game or a walkover or none of those, none of the above. This is where the mentality come in. The team with the strongest will, the team with the strongest desire, the team that want it the most, and the team with the most composure. So that's where we are right now. So you have to get your composure right. You have to get every details fine printed, every single details, every single tick on the clock. You have to get it spot on, correct. While we're still here, okay, as we here waiting for Miss Lois. Trust me, guys. I love these final topics and these final conversation. Because with me, I always try to stay positive. As I always say, be positive, stay positive. Believe in your dream, and never ever forget to believe in yourself. Don't let no one tell you self confidence is. If you have to have self confidence, because you have to believe in your ability. You have to believe in what you do. You have to believe that you can always do it. You know what I mean? Always, always remember to believe in yourself. Believe in whatever you do in life. Never give up. Always stay positive. Always be yourself. All right. So my viewers and subscriber, want to welcome the one and only Miss Lewis. A real words can't even explain the wonderful work what this lady do for all those young kids in Jamaica. The role that she play, a role model. Always want the best, not only for her kids, but the whole entire Jamaica in both home, abroad, each and everywhere. She's a fully Jamaican. She represents the flags with flying colors. She and her husband, Mr. Lewis, great ambassador for Jamaica. It's only that a lot of people don't really see it, but trust me, I see each and everything that you guys do, and all the passion that you guys put into in your work for the young kids or the youth, and always talk how our child to know how we can help the youths in Jamaica. So, Miss Lewis, welcome to my platform.
Thank you so much. I see where you're trying to blow my head up just now. Thank you for the prophecy, of course. Prophesy, yes. Me and my husband were here tonight, and it's a privilege for us to just be here and to talk with our brother Garvan. And we understand that, children right across the world, they are very important. And sometimes we don't take the time out to listen to them or to even be around them, to just hear what they have to say, just to know what caused them to behave the way they do sometimes. It's very important that we spend time around our children. And as you mentioned touching the lives of children right across the board. I believe just by being on the internet, on the online, projecting yourself and causing people to hear, the sound of what is taking place where children is concerned. We are in a small community here, Lilliput, in St. James, where we have interact with a lot of youths, and we understand that our time, growing up as little children is totally different from the time that we are living in now. It's a totally different dispensation. And that is one of the things that we have to take into consideration when it comes on to the youth. There are a lot more opportunities now, and youths are trying to fit themselves in these areas. However, if you should take a look back where we're coming from, where children are concerned, you will understand. By the way, let me say good night, viewers, before I get into the meat of the matter. We have to understand that youths are totally different. The way we grew up then and now is a totally different scenario. Back gone, we could actually go anywhere within your community. You could go anywhere, and you never really have to. Not like you wouldn't have guardians, but parents all over used to look about anybody children. They could say, all right, Suzette, you're not supposed to be on the street at this time. When you compare that to today's society, it's a totally different kettle of fish, we'd say here in Jamaica, because one, people don't really own children everywhere anymore. It's not a community thingy anymore. You will find persons who want to keep the community thing together, but you have persons who would rather want to live for themselves. Not that they would willfully want it to be so, because they probably know, look into themselves and say that, okay, there's so many, so much violence and crime, going on. And so they don't want to be a part of anything that will cause them to be, in trouble. They basically like to just stick to their family, but we cannot stick only to our family. We have to regard the community. You cannot take yourself away from where you're living, because no man is an island. No man stand alone. All right. We all have to be our brother's keeper. It doesn't matter how much you try not to. At the end of the day, you would realize that truly, even God created, Eve for Adam. And so in everything that you do, you need companion, you need a friend, to go on. So interacting with youths, interacting with children, as you say, it's very important. They need to hear from us. We need to hear from them. They need to learn from us. We also need to learn from them, because things that we used to do a particular way is not necessarily that is going to be the same way today. So we both need to interact with one another and know what is going on.
And that's well said, and that's true because these youths these days. I was having a conversation with one of my co-worker,
Yes.
and we were trying to figure out because there was something tragic happened where I think a kid did kill himself, or
Hmm.
So I was like explaining to him like, we build in a different way. These
Yes.
these days they don't go outside. The only thing they do is stick in front of the social media, the video
Yes.
games, and
Yeah.
if you take away those stuff from them because they don't really go out to see the wider world,
Hmm.
because you think you're trying to protect them by staying them in. So when they really go out there, they don't know how to accept life. They don't know
It's
how to
true.
accept whatever they're seeing there.
That's
So,
right.
and if these kids these days, you're so protective of them that if you tell them no one time, they say you don't like them. So the first thing come to their mind, I'd rather kill myself, or
That's
because they
true.
think that you're neglecting them.
It is
So
so
I think
true.
the way we grow kids these days are different. Like these kids are like a glass.
Hmm. Hmm.
So for
So
you
true.
to raise your kids in these days, I think you should like be straightforward with them. Let them know like don't give them each and everything. Because when you try to give them everything and then you take away from them, the first
Hmm.
thing comes to their mind is suicidal. That's
It's
my
true.
that's how I look at it. So I just think that all we grow up being outside, running around, seeing the difference. When the kids never used to stay inside. So you always
No.
be out there because the whole entire community, as you said earlier, was your mom and your dad. So you feel so protective that you can run from here to Miss Tom or Miss John or Miss Dan or Auntie Pat or whosoever from back to house, and everything will be okay because you got someone watching over you. I remember one time that I said good, right, and she stopped me, want to whoop my butt, but I couldn't even go to my mom and tell my mom because my mom would end up to probably turn around and give me the same thing too. You know, so stuff like those we don't have anymore.
We don't have that anymore. You have a situation such as what we have seen on the news. I think it's a school in Spanish Town, and it's a situation where a child was behaving, in a manner where people could have been, I mean, the students could have been wounded, or who knows if death, you know, probably could have taken place because of the behavior of the child. And you would look at a situation like that and you would say, but uh, somebody should, hit the child or whatever. But I was thinking about rather restraining the child, you know, probably hold the child, try to talk to the child, why are you doing this? What has happened? Try to get into the child's mind to find out what is happening, because if you're going to fix a situation, you can't just, as they would say in Jamaica, you can't throw away the baby, with the bath water, but you have to understand what is happening. You have to think about the child as well, that you're throwing away the child as well with the water. So you have to figure out what is it that is happening in this child's mind. And I realize that different communities are they do different things, they operate in different ways. And so you have like those kind of communities where you'll find parents who grow up basically like the same way, and their parents grew up the same way. So sometimes they don't really know how to deal with conflict, they don't know how to deal with these things. But there's always something, there's always a solution, there's always something that we can do to fix the situation that we're in. But then it goes back to how much we really want to do it. If do we really want to see a change? For some of us, it's okay to come in from work and just to have your dinner, because it seems to be the norm now. You come in from work, you know that something is in the fridge, and you fix something, you sit before the TV just as a child would sit in front of his or her game, and they would do their homework or eat or whatever, and they're gone to their bed, and they get up the next day and it's a routine. For some people, it is a problem because they're thinking that this is not really good for anybody to just leave from work to the TV, eating, and then to sleep. What about you interacting with people? What about the community, as we've said before? So life can be better if we care for one another, because there are those who have the internet, there are those who have their games and so forth inside of their home. But what about those who don't have the TV, who don't have the internet, who don't have persons to talk to? What do they do? And maybe that is why we have so many issues, is that you have some persons who they have activities that they can tend to, that can keep their mind. But what about those little boys and girls in the inner city? What about them who cannot and do not have a safe place? They don't have anywhere to go and play, so they're always in trouble, with the neighbor or so forth. So when you look at a situation like that with that little child, you can't just say that the child is rude, or you can't just say what a wicked child, that you can't just pronounce what you want to pronounce over the child's life. But you also have to think about what could cause a child to behave like this. Back then in our time, Garban, we could run to the neighbor. My community where I'm from, I can tell you that it's just like family living in that area. So back then you could just run from your aunt to your uncle to everybody in the community, their families. And even if you didn't have the same name, you move like family. It doesn't matter how far you've gone in the community. Mr. John know that you belong to Mr. Mendez. You understand?
Yeah.
So somebody could say, then Mr. Mendez pitney that. You understand? And it used to be a situation that if you do something wrong that you said before, that parent could scold you. You understand? And then if you go back home, you better keep your mouth shut, because you're going to get it again. We don't really have that kind of community vibe or love, affection that is happening today. You have few people who are trying to keep it together, but you have persons who would say to you, oh, don't get involved, don't get involved, or just let those people live how they want to live. Not everybody wants to live how they are living. And that is what we need to understand. Because you see somebody behaving in a particular way, it doesn't mean that is a life that they choose for a lot of them is what they come to see, and some of them don't know how to get out of it.
That's true because if you notice, a lot of kids today in Jamaica have like both parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got a mom in their life, they don't got their father. If they got a father, they don't got a mom. So I
Mm-hmm.
think even if you, I think that that's one of the main things because even if you're not, living with the opposite parents, I
Yes.
think being your kid's life is a very
It's very
important
important.
thing.
Yes,
Kid
very
being
important.
both parents, and I think
Yes, yes,
that's what hurting some of the youth in Jamaica today because a lot of kids in Jamaica, I'm not bashing the men's or nothing, but
yeah,
a lot of mans don't really stand up and take their part of the
yes,
responsibility to be
yes.
a father. To see the mom go out each and every day,
Mhm.
and don't really got time when they come in to really
Yeah,
know what's going on, just need a second
yeah,
high or a second
yeah.
ear.
You
It's
you
not
ra-
there.
yeah. You raise a very important point right here when you talk about the father. If you notice in Jamaica, I'm not sure about anywhere else because I've not been out of Jamaica, but I can tell you that being in Jamaica, you would find in, I don't know if it's in certain communities or you would say because you have other areas as well, but like residential areas and so forth. Um, you will have youths that will walk up to you and they'll call you Wagwan, my father, you know, Wagwan daddy or Wagwan, or the daddy, whatever they call it, how the accent. But they're basically looking for a father figure. They're basically looking for somebody to say, you're my parents. Now, when you see young people approaching you like this, and for some people they think that some of the youths definitely don't have any manners, and we do understand that some of them don't really know how you understand to talk to grown people, but I've understood over the years that not because they move a certain way, it doesn't mean that they can't change. And I have, spoken to and been around youths where I've seen where they come and they're like, what mama? Or, and what boss lady or so forth. And it's the respect. They have respect. And I realize that if you respect them, they respect you back. It's just that this kind of generation is kind of very revengeful because if you don't respect them, they don't respect
Oh,
you.
thank
And
you.
they're not afraid to show that they don't respect you. So I believe if as adults, you can show respect to youths. You understand? If you pass them on the street, don't always look for the youths to say good morning, good evening, hi, how are you? But as adult people, as parents, you pass children on the road, consider another man's child yours as well. Say good morning. And even if one or two don't answer, they will answer and they
You
will
make,
call back to you tomorrow.
you make a valid point because if you look at it, not because we're parents, that doesn't mean we're always right.
That's
Not
right.
because you're the adult, that doesn't mean you're not to take the time and stop and listen.
Yes.
Because each time you try to have a conversation with a kid, sometimes
Yes.
even though you think you're the other adult, you have to stop and listen. Because listening is one of the most important things. My kids can always tell you, I'm the type of father where if someone tell me that they do a million things, I don't approach it at the same time. Sometimes
Yes.
I just call them, they tell me their part, and I leave it right where it is. And then whatever they somebody told me, I just watch for myself.
That's right. That
Because
is right.
you can't always try to jump on them with each and everything. They're
Hmm.
gonna first thing they're gonna think that you don't like them.
True. That's so
And
true.
sometimes we as parents or adults, not because they approach us and said, well, God, Father, you don't know what's going through their mind. You don't know
Exactly.
if they're having a bad day. You don't even know if they're planning or thinking to go hurt somebody. And you
Exactly.
could have just stopped. Probably you was the only voice that he just want to hear from to say, how is your day?
True. That's
You
true.
know,
I've spoken to
and
young.
probably he can
Yeah,
tell you like, I was planning to go do this.
it's true.
Probably you can end up save two or three person life by
So
just
true.
by just having a little conversation with that person. Not
Yeah.
because they say, well, go on, father. that doesn't mean they're trying to be disrespectful, but
That's
sometimes
right.
like we have to open our vocabulary
Yes.
for kids too. Like, listen, understand them, try to figure out what's going through their minds, study them. Because to be honest, in our time it was probably different, but now you have to be studying kids like you're studying your book or your homework, or
Yes, yes,
you have to
yes.
figure out what's going through their mind
You
here
have
and
to.
there.
Yes. And
Because
one of the things,
uh,
yeah, that I get to understand is that you cannot know what's in the book if you don't open it. And so, as you've said, somebody say, want daddy, want father, want, you know, they are searching for that which is missing. So sometimes the child may not be biologically yours, but fathers should actually learn to father other children as well. And to know you, Garban, when I came to, know you, is to know that you are somebody who care for children, you care for, the next generation. And if we are not panting after serving, young people, then I truly don't know if we truly know our purpose, because until you can give back, until you want to be a part of the solution, then you truly probably have never really discovered your purpose here, on earth. The Bible said to redeem the time, for the days are evil. And sometimes, like first time we used to play Chinese skipper, we used to play hopscotch, and we used to play Sting Me, and all of these little things. I was in the bathroom the other day and I was looking throughout the window, and I'm looking at the apple tree. And maybe not a lot of person know this, but when I was a little child, I used to watch my cousins and I used to follow them. They used to use like the little budding of the apple, the little small apple, and
yeah,
they accessory thing on the dresser. They used to take it off and they would push that little budding down in there, and they get like a nail or something and they just push it in there to make a loud sound.
loud
It
sound.
doesn't have to be this specific thing, but there are other things like that the gig that we used to use. Used to get that piece of, I think they used to get the board, and they would carve it out, and they put nail into it, and they would tie a piece of card around it, and they would
Yeah,
just like,
sure.
and it, yes. So we have to redeem the time. I mean, we have to do things that we used to do before, that used to gather us together as a people. It is difficult, it is hard, but we can still try to keep, the connection somehow.
Yeah, I remember we used to make box strings truck, and we used to be creative, and
Yes.
that's what the generation now lack. Because the parent, I don't say you can't let them play games. You know that I was reading something on the internet, and then my mom said she watched the news and she bring it up to me, where the person that really made the video games said that the kid's not supposed to play the game more than probably half an hour, the longest.
Whoa. Oh my goodness. Then we have a lot of damaged children, because let's say my son, let me talk about me. My son is 4 years old, and he wants to stay not really playing games, but to stay on the gadget. He will stay on it from he gets up in the morning straight till bedtime, and his bedtime is not the normal 9 or 10 o'clock. Ever since the COVID, everything has changed, and he does go to bed until late. But I can tell you for real, my son played the game, the bigger one, the older one, and I'm telling you, he's on it like for 24/7. And most youths are like that.
Because that's what the article says, and that's what they said. They said it's addicted. They said it's
Mm.
like drugs. It's addicted.
Because ain't nobody want to go outside and interact anymore. I remember being, because that is what we're talking about tonight, basically just, the difference with now and then, as young people, is that back then I can remember being a little girl, that I used to go to the river a lot. We used to spend a lot of time at the river in my community where I'm from, Top Trelawney, Litchfield. We used to Woodgrove. We used to go to the river like from in the morning. I can tell you, we leave for river like 9:30, and we will not be home until one after one. Because then we would have gone with our parents to wash, and after we would finish wash, we would go and bathe in the river. And after we bathe, before we bathe, after we wash, we hang out the clothes.
Miss
We
Lewis,
spread,
um,
yes.
I get I get something right here. It's I don't know if you can see all the comments.
No, I can't see anything. There's a
Uh,
chat, but
it's saying a lot of these parents do not really think their kids' problem too serious until too late.
yeah, that is so
What you
true.
said about
That is
that?
true. Um, Parents have a tendency to take on what we would call uh there's a word busy, right? Busy, busy, busy. Sometimes some of us are busy doing nothing, and I don't want to say that parents are not working. I'm saying that there are times when we have our leisure, and there are times when we too are on our phone, and we're on our phone for very long. And even if we're working, we're still doing stuff on our phone. So your child is saying to you, or maybe not verbally, because sometimes what they have to say or need to talk about, it's not coming out verbally. They're afraid to say it to their parents, but you must observe your child and to know the difference. You must say, okay, I think my daughter, I think my son is being withdrawn. They used to be talkative. What is happening? So they're staying more in their room. They're not going out. They're not doing what they used to do. It's a concern. That's a call for concern. No, you don't expect for the child to really come to you at this point if the child is not talking, to yell at you and say, Mommy, I need to talk to you. But also as a parent, you need to pay attention now and begin to question that, no, but this is not my child. And you go to your child now to find out what is the situation. And so if you're, the other day, a parent contacted me, and the parent said to me, my child is, say, 15 years old. And he's saying that I'm having some issue with her. And I have spoken to her and it's not getting any better. I am thinking about doing something else. And, you know and for this reason, I said to the person, said to me, is there anybody that you can recommend me to? And so, of course, PMI, Peace Management Initiative, they offer, counseling and so forth. And I was able to recommend them, and they got the necessary information that they needed. So as a parent, you have to look for signs in your children to know when something is happening. And there are children also who are asking for the attention of their parents, and they're verbal with it, and they're saying, Mommy, I need to talk to you. Daddy, I need to talk to you. Daddy, I need to talk to you. Mommy, I need to talk to you. Oh, we'll talk about it later when I get in. We'll talk about it next week when I have more time. I would say to that parents tonight, talk to your children now. Talk to your children now. Don't allow your child to go outside to seek help, because what we're seeing in front of us now is that there's a lot of persons out there who seem to be real and they're not real. And you don't want, especially a daughter, to go and confide or to find comfort in a man.
I got
Yeah.
one more for you, Miss Lewis. Us as guys that were born in the 70s think more about kids than the boys who were born in the 90s and 2000.
Yeah, that person saying that those who born in the 17 and the 80s probably think more about
Oh,
children,
yes.
yeah, and like the youths and so forth. I probably would want to say, yes, and no, but yes, because um back then you will have, as we've said before, the norm already, where children used to be children.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Children used to be children, so it was okay to be yourself, to be children, right? So we have our time that we would play, as we talked about before. We would talk about stuff and share dopey story. I remember me and my little cousins, we used to sit in the night and listen to the older folks. They would tell us stories, dopey stories. In the late night, we still there listen to dopey story until we were afraid to sleep. Um, so yes,
Rolling
but
cap.
nobody don't want to listen to a story no more. They want to be on their tablets and they want to be on their phone. So technology is good, But I think while technology is good, it has robbed us of just fellowshipping with one another, right? Even in church now, people want to hurry up and go home to their gadgets. They want to go on their phone and to have their private moment with whosoever they want to do so with. But as that person has just said, yes, there is a situation that back then we were more concerned about communicating with our own let's say community, you know. So we talk to our children, and we would for example, sighty. For you to play sighty back then, you have to make it. Wasn't, I don't know for you, but we never have the ball that we have ready made now. Back
So
then
we
when
used
we
to
used
make boxings
to,
box and fold it.
we used to crush the box drinks box, and that is what we used to throw at each other. For me, in the country, there is something on the banana tree that we used to crush up together. We crush it up and roll it and roll it and roll it until it becomes a ball. We used to tie the plastic around it, and that is what we used to throw at each other. And for the Chinese skip, just the same. We had to sit down and get the elastic and put them one by one and sew together until we tie the edge. And we didn't just even in playing as children, we used to get the for girls, we for me, I never have any dolly. I used to use the grass. There was some grass that used to grow, and
Uh-huh.
we used to plant them. Right, we used to plant them and tie little cloths, you know, and it like for ribbons. And even bottle we used to put here, falls here, we used to put them in the bottle and tie it at the top.
And that's your dolly.
we used to, we used to get like the cloth and our, you know, and we would cut out the hand and the head and form out the shape of the doll, and then we would sew it up and support, and we used to share it among, you know, one another as children. So you have parents too who used to make the little dollies for us as well. So I think, as your friend or the person has just said, that back then I think probably more persons were concerned about the children and how they are playing.
Yeah, because I learned something, and it takes me to go through. Which we're not gonna talk about it. Which I already explained to you. It takes me to go through that part in my life to really know and think that at this part in life, like never leave the house to tell that person how much I love you, or because even the kids,
Mhm.
even like the person outside, never try to leave without say, I love you, and I'm going there, I'm going here, because life to this day that we're living in, it's so unpredictable. You
It
know,
is. It is.
living here, it teach me a lot. When I was in Jamaica, I was like playing the soccer here, being and running around. But now I'm in this place where half of the year it's cold, half is hot. So how are you gonna make use of the time? So I'm more like come back into my shell, and I get time now to preview life and look and can see. Because to be honest, now when you look at the Notorious Stash, okay, Miss Notorious Stash, thank you for joining us. This she's a regular and one and only. Yeah, she always here each and every night. But you know, for me, like coming from work now, what I do is, I like to watch my soccer news so I can keep up to date. Or like if I'm gonna make a soccer video, so I would listen to like my YouTube until when I get home. I try to practice myself to like put it down, because at first I used to be like there, spending quality time and like listen to the YouTube. Or so now I try my best to listen it from on my way home. When I reach home, I put it down. If it's something important, if I'm gonna go use the bathroom or take a shower, then I'll probably go in there and let it play and listen it. But as soon as I come out, I try my best to close it, put it
Yeah.
down. So these times are the times that you need to, for me, you just need to spend quality time, not only with your family but friends too. try to communicate, try to, because it's the same thing we're talking about earlier with the club, the community club. That's there, and for me, all the hard work that I put in, to be quite honest, I put it in to see something really nice happen in that community. And when I
Yeah.
knew that it's not really happening, I was like, where all the hard work go? But that's not gonna disencourage me to always
Yeah.
be, so we can never give up
That's right.
because we
And
all are here for a purpose and a reason.
that's so true.
But we
Yes,
don't
that's
know,
so
but
true.
we have to see the path that God is putting us because you
Yeah.
only can be yourself. And that's something that I'm always trying to tell my kids. You cannot be no one else but be you because we're all here for a purpose. So if you
Yes,
see you're doing something constantly, probably that's what God is putting you and He's showing you like, this is
that's
what
right.
we need to do. Get over there.
Yes.
So,
It is so easy to be comfortable. It is so easy to, stop doing what you're doing, and just be yourself and like stay by yourself, not caring or wanting to be a part of anything. It is so easy. It is harder to want to be a part of a group. It is harder to want to see others, come on the same level. It is harder because you have to be pushing yourself not only, but then you have to be pushing others as well. So what I've learned over the years and what I'm seeing today and even in the church, because I remember like being in the community growing up when churches used to have crusade, right? You used to have like the streets filled with people. People used to be, coming from everywhere to be a part of that crusade. But I have seen, up to this time where you have crusade and you have just the church, praise and worship group and few persons from the church and one and two people who come and stand to listen to the word. So I do believe that a lot have changed. The time has changed in so many ways, and we just have to redeem, as the Bible said, the time now. You have to do what you can do, because if you're looking for majority to come along, if you're looking for a large group of people to start anything at all, I can tell you it's probably never ever going to happen. You have to do whatever you're doing with a few people who want to be a part of it, and then by that it will grow.
yeah, Miss Notorious Star said, yes, I miss Crusade. But one point, as you say about that, I remember. And I don't know if it's still happening, but I don't see much of it because these days everything is on social media.
Everything
I
is
don't
on
know if you
social
remember
media.
when the church, Amen. I remember when the church used to go out in the street in the community and
That's
keep
right.
keep I don't remember the
Yeah,
service out there
yeah.
like in each and used to go to different communities and
Mhm.
I used to enjoy that as a kid, to be quite
Yeah.
honest. Even
Hmm.
if I was running around through adults as a little kid, but that was
Yes.
something that I used to
Look
admire.
forward to, yes. Hmm.
I used to admire it when the church come out, and each and everybody come together and out there singing, clapping. Doesn't matter
Yes.
how bad that person is as in the community or what. But
It's so
that,
true.
yeah, that was kind of good. And I think that DJ Brown said, yep, yes, bro, thank you for joining in. Yeah, so
Another thing, yeah, another thing that has been like, maybe it happens still in certain communities. I'm not sure, and maybe it happened every day in America or wherever you're at this time. But for Jamaica, for years ago in the 80s, 90s, we used to, as little children, we would look forward for Christmas, right? Christmas used to be the time of the year for everybody growing up as little children. It is Christmas times, you are certain of your little dress, because a lot of us used to wear a little dress and a little skirts. It wasn't so much about the jeans pants for a lot of us. We used to have those little frilly dresses, and we used to have those little jean skirts and jumper suits and those kind of things that would come into the barrel, whether you get it from your neighbor, you get it from your aunt, or wherever, but you used to get some Christmas goodies and your little booty and so forth. You will always look forward to what we call merry-go-round. Now, merry-go-round, as we would call it, merry-go-round, merry-go-round, whatever you call it. is that little tree looking thingy with the stuff going around swinging like swing songs, right? And
Uh-huh.
we used to look forward to it. There was always this man. This is the man that used to play. I don't know if they call pipe. I don't know what they call that little instrument, but he would put it on his mouth and he'd be playing
I
it.
know where you're talking, but I don't remember the name right now. But I will get
And
it.
then
Let me-
they used to call it Crown and Anchor, or maybe bingo for some people, dominoes, all the different type of games that you can think about. And some people used to play for money and all of that, but the children would always be on the merry-go-round, right? And
Uh-huh.
sometimes you'd be on it until you're dizzy and so forth. But it used to be our little way of enjoying ourselves at Christmas times. And I think if you go into a lot of the communities, especially like in the country area, sometimes you will see where none of that is happening anymore. So on Christmas time, the church is the only thing sometimes for some youths. Like when I was little, growing up into the teenage year, I used to want to follow my sister to go and look at where they're going. They're going to little dance in the community because they would always have that little club thingy that is going on, and little children could be in the early part of the evening, the song start to play, they would start to dance. But when it comes on to a 7 o'clock and dance, big dance will start. It's not like no where you have the little teenagers, half naked and trying to push their way in and staying at dance. No. Back in those days, when it reached 7 o'clock or so forth, you better make sure looking out for your grandmother, your auntie, or your
Somebody's
father,
doing it
because
too
they're
on your
coming
ears
to
through the
get
dance.
you. They're coming to get you. There's no way you're going to look at those go-go, what you would call in those days. There's those dancers. So it used to be fun and joy for everyone in different way. But I can tell you that the church was one, of the stronger, organization that would continue to have like Christmas plays. So you notice you would look forward for that time where you would see the people in the community from the church, they would put on plays and you go there and you watch it for an hour to have something to laugh, and so forth. But today, no, it is so different. Things are still happening at churches, but it is not so much of the plays and so forth like it used to. You have praise and worship now, and you have other things that is done at the church. But back in those days, it was a different feeling. Things were different. I'm telling you. You're looking forward to your Jerusalem peas, rice and peas and chicken and pork or fish or whatever it was. We would look forward to those things on Christmas time. But now, maybe today, when you take a stop for the school, the children, most of their friends are gone to join with their family abroad. And so you'll have the remaining persons who probably don't have anywhere to go. And so some of us don't even take into consideration that sometimes next door is a little child that has nobody to eat with. The grandmother is bedridden, and none of us, take the time to check to see if they're okay. So I think this is where a lot of us miss what we used to do back then, because back then my mother used to send me with food to my neighbor. My mother used to send me with food to my aunt. And nowadays I realize that the people hardly want to check if their neighbor is awakened from sleep.
Yeah. You got TJ Brown say, "Oh my God, this is true." And yeah, that's true. Because I
Yes,
remember when I was a kid, one of my favorite time of the year is Christmas. I get
yes,
that one little new shirt and probably that one
yes,
little new pants or shoes. And you
yes.
head off downtown and you got a little 20 or
So
$100 in your
true.
pocket. You're gonna look for ride in the merry-go-round, or you're gonna look to that
Yes,
cheap man that's gonna trick you and take your money because you got that person behind him. But as you grow up, when you're a kid, you didn't
yes,
know. But those
yes,
are some fun moments.
yes,
You know, the childhood that we have these days and the childhood
yes.
now. Remember those tire with those two broomstick with a little bit of oil in it, and that's your car. And
That's
you
right.
cut the hose and you make the hose wheel. Man,
Yes.
that it was
Yes.
so much creative.
It was so different. I mean, we didn't have everything, but we knew how to use what we had. And that is the difference with now. A lot of youth now, what they do is to worry about what they don't have. And they try to find means and ways to get and to actually stress. They stress themselves about what they don't have. But then I think we invent, we create, we sit on the sidewalk, the road walk, the sidewalk there, where you have, I don't know what they call that thing there on the side of the road that we would sit on, and we just chat. You know, we sit on the steps, you understand, and we just chat. What were we talking about? We were talking about MacGyver. We were talking about Dempsey and Makepeace, Frank, all those Return to Eden, Generation, all of these things. We used to talk about these things.
Sunday mat. Yeah. So you look at Sunday mat. You can't wait on Sunday to watch Sunday matinee.
You understand what I'm saying? Oh
Because those
shit.
days don't have one station and one station in Jamaica, and that was JBC.
That's right. That's
You know,
right.
the only time you want to watch show is on Sunday. You have to watch a Sunday matinee. You know,
Yes.
or your Thursday night at the fight.
Yeah. We used to get tapes, right? And we'd watch whether the Bruce Lee, or you know, that time we used to watch a lot of the Chinese movies. Those were our
That's the
entertainment.
only thing that we used to get. Like your karate show, and then everybody want to be the next Bruce Lee, and you
That's
have to
it.
take
That's the
karate.
show.
That's
Telling
true.
you, those were the days. And of course, we used to have dreams and we wanted to have other things. But for some reason, we used to know how to just sit down and laugh and have a good time. I think no, I don't. The whole fellowship is missing. Persons are not touching anymore. And when I say touch, I'm not talking about sex or anything of such. I'm saying that people don't really even hug as much as they used to. You know, if it's even male are afraid to say I love you to the other. You know, nowadays, male will never want to embrace another male. You know, they do it, but with so many space, you know, so much
Yeah.
space between them, because it's this thing nowadays where, you know, if you tell a man, say you rate him, or me love you, it's hard, especially Jamaica. You think you're not supposed to because you're a man, and that makes you, you know, strange. But it is not so, because I do believe that a father has to, you know, love his son and show him that love, you know. But I think we're living in a days where some numbers you can't use it in Jamaica. You have to skip them, you know, and some words you don't want to use it because it means something. But I believe at the end of the day, love needs to be demonstrated, and nothing is wrong for a man to
Continue,
regard
Miss Lois.
a
Give me
man.
1 second. Continue,
Yes,
continue.
that's yes. Nothing is wrong for, you know, the males to appreciate, you know, the male. You're not being strange in any way, but fathers need to show their son affection. And I believe that one of the things that is lacking even in our country today is that man is afraid to demonstrate that love that God has given unto them to their sons, and they're afraid to show it to their brother because of, you know, um the
Someone
whole,
will take it out of,
that's in the
because you know
wrong way. Yes,
that's
yes,
one of the things I learned when I really come here.
yes,
So it's you have to choose your lifestyle, you know, because not because you tell somebody that you love them, or even my dad. I'll go over my dad right now, and I told him, man, I love you, man. Later. You know, my little nephew at Jamaica. You know, my little nephew. Anytime
yes,
we have the phone, I tell him, man, I love you, man, before I go, because that's a thing that I learned, that you have to
yes,
embrace the people in
yeah,
your life today,
yes,
because
yeah,
life is not
yeah,
like back in the days. You know,
hmm,
like at this moment, we got so much things that they're putting out. There's so much
yes,
negativity
yes,
around this world. So you never know the time and the moment. So
yes.
embrace each and every time. That's one of the things I learned today. Like I'm living here, and that's one of the things that I really, really, really learned. And I learned to have patience.
Yes, yes, and even young men, and that's one of the things that I think youth, that you know, the battle with is being patient. But we have to, you know, get back into the real place, and to know that emotions are real. And I've seen where male, you know, they are afraid to show that they have feelings, you know, and so they were taught, like in my days, in our days, the males were taught to be tough. Yeah, man, tough. So they it's like you were forbidden. You weren't supposed to show your emotions. A man is not supposed to cry. A man is supposed to be tough and hard. Yes, I do understand that, but at the end of the day, he hurts too. And I do believe that that's one of the things with us, our men in Jamaica, is that, and I don't know if it's just Jamaica or the world, but we were like forced not to show that we're hurt. Our men are forced not to show their pain, while the female can show and cry. The man is supposed to tough up and while your back is breaking, don't make a sound, don't move. But and then you grow like that as a child and into a man. And I believe that's why men, you will find them taking their own life, because they don't know how to even shed a tear. They will never cry in front of their family. They wouldn't cry for anybody in their family to see them, because they don't want them to look at them as soft. But men do feel pain. Jesus cried. So if he cried, I don't understand why men can't show that they're human as well.
Well, and that those points are 100% well taken, because honestly, like my life right now, with my missus, and like
Yes,
she's
yes,
at my tail. To be
yes,
honest, like if I lay on the couch, she's up there. If I'm sick, not even when I'm saying, she not like not even breeze. So those are the little things that kind of
yes,
help me these days, especially to balance life. To
yes,
really
yes,
know
yes.
that somebody out there love you, somebody out there
Me
care for you.
too. Yes,
Not only you
yes,
alone.
yes,
You got somebody in your life, and
yes.
you know, it's not like I'm gonna be the man that's gonna tough up these days. I'm like, no, like I'm gonna let her know that I'm here too. And you know,
Yes.
to be honest, it helps me a lot, Miss Lewis. Right now,
Yes.
it seems like it's the happiest ever been in my life, because
Yes.
my life is so balanced by
Yeah.
not the macho man anymore, but just normal human being, where
That's right. Yes.
I can talk to
Mhm.
her, listen to her, and
Mhm.
she listen to me, and
Yes.
she's stuck on my tail, like we
Yes.
don't, like,
Yeah.
we can have conversation, you know,
Yes.
without no form of, we don't just break
Yes.
it down, and like, if you need a little
Yes.
break, it's like
Yes.
it's good. I'm not saying it's perfect, because none of us are perfect.
That's
We're gonna
right.
always have our disagreement, and because
Yes.
we're not, trust me, none of us are the same in this lifetime. We
That's
all are
right.
different,
That's right. And we
you
all
know,
need to learn from each other.
from each
So
other.
we need to understand, yes, that the male need that, and some of the time is because the mother is not present in the home and the father is not present as well. Sometimes a lot of our young men were grown up by, they're brought up by their grandparents or even auntie, or just strangers, somebody in the community and so forth. But we need to understand that our men need that kind of love. If we're going to talk about youth, it makes sense we talk about parenting as well, and we talk about, the relationship on a whole, because it is when two people come together, they're going to have children. And if you don't know how to grow those children, then that is why our country, our nation, our world is the way it is because we have to pay attention to what we are bringing into the world, and the love and nurture that child is going to need to be a better person. So we need to have that kind of love, meaning I need to know how to talk to my husband. I need to respect him regardless of what may happen between us. I have to reach to that place where I know that the more respect I give to a man is the more love is going to be meted out to me. Because if I disrespect my husband, if I disrespect the man that I'm with, then I'm basically telling him how to treat me. So at the end of the day, if we don't put into each other, if you don't put into your wife, if you don't put into your husband, then you're not going to get anything else. And so what we have seen is a lot of broken men and a lot of broken women who are not fit to be parents. And then when they have those children can't give anything because they weren't receiving anything. And so we blame everything around us. But the truth is that we have to take a stand, right? You have to fix you, I have to fix me, and we have to approach each other. in a better way.
And what you said, I know I can have you for a long time, so you can tell me when you're ready. But
Yeah.
what you said, it's really, really, really well taken because looking back on a lot of person that I know,
Yes.
they go into this relationship, even me, but even me make mistakes, but learn. I try to learn as I go. So that means like when the next person, like I know the mistakes that I make because I never try to make the same mistake over. Because we
Yes.
all make mistakes.
Yes.
Looking back to it, I see you see kids having kids, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't even know how to appreciate themselves. So how they gonna appreciate their kids? They
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to go out there and work and bust sweat and tears to bring in for the kids. So
Yes.
you find
Yes.
out
Yes.
that we got more kids now in Jamaica is
Yes.
fatherless or fatherless. Either the dad is in prison or the dad died. And where you leave those kids?
So true.
So for we, I think the country need to set up a program right across the country where when you find out that this parent is a single parent, we need to find a solution. Because if we don't find a solution, we're gonna have a lot of kids out there that's gonna go down
Yes.
the wrong path. So I think that we should have some programs where we can bring the mother there or the father there. Have people through the community
Mm-hmm.
because we always say
We
that the
have.
money's not there, but I think the
Yeah.
money is there in Jamaica because we
Yeah.
got a resource. We just use the money on the wrong thing. So I think
Yes.
we can find some resource to help those single parents, either a mother or father, and help to balance it
Yes.
out, counsel them, even a little counseling or, you know, teach them how to be a parent. Don't sit
I
aside
think.
and say, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
think
think one of the things. Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
think Miss Dawn is okay or Miss no, that if that parent have to go out there at night and leave that kid at home, what do you think that kid gonna do? So I think we need to find more resource because Jamaica got a lot of resource. We can find stuff to do to improve the job system
Mm-hmm.
or set up a system where people can get jobs so they can go and work from 9 to 5, they can go to take care of their kid the right and proper way so the country can be better.
Yeah.
I think if each one help one, but these days people no one want to help the next person. Like I think if each one
That's the
help
thing.
one, then we
Yeah.
can uplift the country.
I think that is one of our downfall. Commitment is one of the things that I think we wrestle with so much because we have started many programs, but how do we sustain these programs? And you'll have parents in Jamaica, they have groups where they select persons who want to be, parents for, children on a whole. But commitment is the thing. And I do believe that one of the things, as we talked just now, is how do we plan to sustain the groups that we put together? Because let's say some of these programs that they put into place, they were like pilot, for probably like 3 months, they were just checking it out to see if it will work. And then after that, it drops and then somebody else starts another piloting program again. And then it stops again and you wonder what is happening if people are just seeking their own glory or they're just trying to do something to attach to their resume or you want to find out what is happening because not a lot of programs are sustained, you understand, are sustainable. They just started for a year or so and you don't hear about it again. But can I tell you that a program as useful as PMI is a good one? I can tell you about it. Peace Management Initiative. They were and they are and they continue to do. And one of the things that probably kind of halt certain things sometimes is because money. It takes money sometimes to carry out some of these services, and without money, things that you want to happen, always get left behind because there's not sufficient fund to continue. But then again, it goes back to volunteering your service and as an individual. And I heard you mention the neighbor's children, you know, that the mother is away at work and you live over, you know, next door, and the child is over there and you see the child walking up and down in the yard 24/7, and something just seemed to be off, but because you and the mother don't talk, you know, you and your neighbor, you're not sharing any conversation, you don't have a relationship, so it doesn't matter what is happening to the child. And I think that is not supposed to be like that. I think that community is supposed to be community, and we have to try as much to love one another as possible. You don't have to love somebody so much that oh, I'm going to have to be giving them things, or I'm going to have to be taking care of them, so I can't bother to love them. No, we can love and care for persons that at least if something seemed to be wrong, you can call the attention of the authority or so forth to assist. You know, like a child being abused, and whether sexually or physically, you have to love in a way that at least you care about another person's life.
And to be honest, it's not only sexually or physically. Sometimes people abuse you mentally. You know,
Exactly.
so we have to know and we have to careful because we Jamaican, our culture is a good culture, but we got some stuff to it too that we
Yes.
need to go or get rid of. You know,
Yes.
calling kids all these names and like kids these days, they what stuff? They know they're human. I think that we are the parents. We need to know how we talk to our kids, know what we say to them,
Yes.
know how we're gonna approach them. You know, study your kids so you can know how to really approach them. Because each and every one of my kids, I know how I'm gonna approach them.
That's right, because everyone is different.
It's,
And
everyone
I
is
think this is
different.
a good way to wrap up tonight, because you did mention studying your child. You have to study them. So I think you bring everything back to where we started tonight. And you've said we have to study your children, study your surroundings, study what is happening in your community. Try to be a part of, because I do understand that there are times when things are happening in the community. There's something happening at the center. You know, you can go and check out the community center. What is it that is happening? Try to talk with maybe the president, somebody that works at the center, part of the center. Find out what is happening in the community. Try to be a part of it. If there's a club and you have a child, when is the club? You know, what day of the week, or for how long? As parents, you don't have to just send your child there alone all the time, but you can go one at a time and find out what is happening. Find out if your child is there, because your child will say that they're going there and probably don't even end up there as well. So, as you know, Garvan, as you've said, let's study our children because they're studying us.
And one last thing before you go, I would like for the parents, sometimes they don't take money, you know, just take your kid, like, let me walk down the street. And meanwhile, you're going down the street, just talk to your kid, find out, because sometimes kids got things going through their mind.
Yeah.
And that little one walk, a little one moment, quality time is very important. You
True.
know,
And I do believe that coming from back in the days, I think this is where there has been some, loose ends, where parents would think that, big people are big people, young people are young people. So in that regards, not in all, situation, but they used to probably just want to, always be by themselves as adults, and then the children should be by themselves as children. But we have to take into consideration, because I remember being a little girl, and if I look at my aunties too much, they would say that I don't have any manners, my eyes them too bright, and so forth and so forth. But they don't understand. I was just being myself. What am I? I'm not supposed to look. If I don't look, they say I don't have any manners, and if I look, they say that my hair too prime. So back in the days, a lot of things used to happen in ways that we don't understand. As you mentioned before, no, you learn. You can walk with your child. You can talk with your child, because maybe while walking, the child would say, last week I did this and I wasn't, I didn't want to come to you because I was afraid you would beat me. And it's just by just walking that child feel as if he or she could just say that. But back in the days, children would be afraid to talk to their parents. I'm going to say this quickly. I remember the first time I was 12 and I was having my period for the first time. And when I went home and I said to my mother, me say mama, because that's how I used to call her mama. Me say mama, look here, because I showed her it. And she was like, Lord Jesus, you turn big woman now. When your sister comes, she will tell her what to do. So she in herself, like she was like scared, or I don't know if he's scared, or she thought that I was she parents then they were kind of like we would say, I don't know if it's not knowledgeable or they were trying to protect us from things that they don't want us to know yet.
Yeah.
But she would be like, ah, Jesus, you turn big man, you turn big man now, you know. She didn't just say to me that, you know, okay, this is this and this is that, and I had to do all the little things for myself and stuff. But it's just a different timing. And nowadays, with these children, for our children, we'll tell them from a very tender age that this is going to happen. They will learn it at school. And so when it happened, you probably know a day after or so because they would have known already what to do and how to go about it. So this has been a very interesting topic tonight. You know, just bringing the past back to the future and just putting them together and to look at them and to see what we used to do then, what we're doing now, what is it that we can do now, and what it is that we probably have done then that we could have done better. So these things are very important because a lot of kids now, the other day I was listening to some love songs and my daughter was like, I don't know that. I don't know that. And I'm saying to them, these were love songs. I don't know what y'all are listening to now. But those songs like they may think I'm a fool.
Yeah, back in the
Those,
day.
those songs were songs, you know,
Yeah.
those were the songs, I'm telling you. So we are living in different timing, and these songs nowadays will tell you how to cut neck, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, Miss Lewis, before you go, I just want to thank you. You
Yes,
guys need a broadcast. Well, I think we're gonna get one day. This is just the start.
that's
We
right.
gotta,
Yes,
we're
yes,
gonna bring this to the world. So
definitely. Yes,
I want to thank you very, very much to share
my
this platform
pleasure.
with me.
My
I did a
pleasure.
lot of interviews, since I really do this channel with
Yes,
some former greats, and if you can share this, on your social, and if you want to share it with your friends, and so everyone can tune in, and help the channel to grow so we can get more, because I'm going to have you on as anytime that you're available, and I really appreciate it. And a lot of people in the comment section, they love it because they've been telling me don't only do soccer, don't only do football or whatever we want to call it, so do something else. And they like, because every video that I do, I always
yes,
put some positive speech in it. So they
yes,
always like it. So they were like, why you don't get it? So I said, like, Miss Lewis is a perfect person for this, to start this chapter, this new chapter for the new year and the new beginning. And Miss
yes,
Lewis, you're always here with me. You're always praying for me. You
yes,
always
yes,
check on me, make sure I'm okay. And you
yes,
always appreciate that hard work that I used to do back then. And we really want to start back that program, to be honest, where we can help the youths.
yes.
You know, it doesn't matter how small it is.
That's
So we
right.
really want to start
Yes,
it off for the new year. And
yes.
thank you so much. And tell
My
Mr.
pleasure.
Lewis that I really appreciate him to give you the time to be
Yes,
here with me tonight. And it's a joy.
no
And
problem.
as a subscriber, before we go, you know what I always said: believe in your dream. Don't
That's
let no
right.
one tell you that not to dream, because your dream gonna turn your reality. As long as you work hard for it, put the hard work in, and it will pay off one day. Believe in yourself, because you only can be you. You cannot be someone else.
That's
So
right.
thank you guys for watching. And guys, remember, share this. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.
And I want you guys to follow Miss Lewis and Mr. Lewis. They keep this on Facebook on
Facebook.
Sundays. Miss Lewis, you
Yeah.
want to tell them where they can find you to watch those
Okay,
wonderful
so if
stories?
you want to go and look for Married Chat on Facebook, or you can look for Suzette Lewis and add me, and you'll see we have two groups because I actually had to change from Redeeming Marriage because Facebook was locking down all the time, and then I started Married Chat. So we have two pages, Redeeming Marriage, but we're presently on Married Chat. But you can go and search for Suzette Lewis and you'll find me. I can add you as well. So we're on every Sunday night at 9 p.m. And this is mostly for those that are single and planning on getting married and those who are married. We encourage marriage and we encourage reconciliation. We encourage persons to learn about the person that you're going to be with before you actually get married. Louis, Garban wants you to come and say hello before he close off.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we encourage persons to, you don't just go and pick up a relationship, but find out what you need to know about the person. It's very important to do your research if you have to. Find out about where the person is from. Find out about the person's parents and the involvement of that person, because relationship is not supposed to be one that you jump in and jump out of, but dating, rather, you spend time to know the person. If you are dating somebody and you realize that there are some red flags, you don't need nobody to tell you that you need to run, you need to move. Do that, because it will benefit you later. All right, so that's an avenue for you to come. You can,
Trust me, I've been watching it.
you can call in and all of these things, and we can just talk about issues that are important to
Trust me,
marriage.
when you pop up, I don't really go on Facebook much, but when it pop up, trust me, I watch it. So to
That's
be honest, I watch it. That's why I was watching you and Mr. Lewis one night.
yeah.
It was on the marriage topic, and it hit something. That's why I said I need to call Miss Lewis, because
Yeah.
I need Miss Lewis on my first. You
Yes,
know,
yes, yes. Mhm.
oh,
So,
the notorious
so
Touch said she loved this.
Lewis is coming to say good night, and maybe you can pray for somebody before you leave.
Ah,
Yes, Mr. Lewis, we really appreciate it, Mr. Sir.
yes, my brother and friend. How are you?
Doing well, Mr. Lewis. If you want to close us off with a word of prayer, we really appreciate it.
All
Yes,
right,
yes,
all right, all right,
just in time.
all right. I just want to say good night to all our Facebook viewers and
It's YouTube.
oh, YouTube.
Yeah,
Interesting,
yeah,
interesting. All right, great, great,
yeah.
great. Let us give God thanks for the evening. All right. Father, we thank you that you are God and that you change not.
Yes.
We thank you, Lord, that you are most capable. There is no one else like you. Lord, you hold the universe in the palm of your hand, and you cause everything to operate as is designed.
Yes.
Lord, we thank you for your faithfulness. Lord, we thank you that you have spared our lives. We thank you, Lord, for this day that you have made. We give you thanks, Lord. And Father, we want to commend in your hand the endeavors of our dear brother and friend. Lord, as he venture off on this project, Lord, we pray that you'll continue to bless him with great insight. We pray, Father God, that you will bring persons on board that can help to move this thing forward, and that the world at large can benefit. The youths, oh Father, can be of greater benefit. Lord, we thank you that you're in control again, and we thank you that all provision are in place because we are trusting in you for your favor. Lord, I pray that you'll bless him immensely. I pray, Lord, that you will grant him the courage he needs, grant him a peace of mind in the name of Jesus. And we thank you for all our viewers. And we pray too, Lord, that you will keep them, you will guide, you will protect them, and you will provide. And we pray, Father, for your blessings upon us all. In the name of Jesus Christ, we thank you again for your faithfulness.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, Mr. So thank you guys again, and we're gonna do this another time.
Oh,
You know,
sure.
I
Yes.
really
Just let us know.
appreciate it. I got over 300 and almost 400 subscriber. And hopefully we can hit more, or we can share this
Yeah.
wonderful moment,
That's
to the
right.
world.
Yeah.
And thank you again, guys, for taking the time out, because I know you guys work each and every day and tired. So peace
Bless you.
and thank you.
Bless
Thank
you.
you too. All the
Blessing.
best. And we stay in touch. Peace. Shalom.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you, guys. Yes, guys, that was Mr. and Mrs. Lewis. Really appreciate them take the time out, to share this wonderful moment with us. So thank you, guys. Your boy JC Garvin. Remember, please like, share, and subscribe. We're out.